ठीक. Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Where are the other uh, participants?
Actually, ma'am, we are Facebook as well as YouTube live, so some of the
Okay.
participants are watching theirs. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'm starting.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of EMAS Academy and Innovative Educators Club, I welcome you all in today's webinar. Let us start with the introduction of EMAS Academy. EMAS, Empowering Educators and Inspiring Learners. EMAS stands for Education, Masters and Academic Services. It is a leading educational organization dedicated to providing high quality training and resources for educators worldwide. Our mission is to empower the teachers to become the best versions of themselves, inspiring the students to reach their full potential. Our vision is to create a world where educators are not just teachers, but mentors, leaders, and change makers. And mission is to transform the educational landscape by providing teachers with innovative training, resources, and support. Achievements and recognition. Globally, we have conducted numerous workshops, both online and offline, reaching nearly 7,000 teachers globally. And our training sessions have transformed teaching practices by helping educators adopt new strategies, technologies, and approaches. Meet our director, Mrs. Sayyida Afsha Afrin ma'am. With over 20 years of experience in education and an extensive academic background, Sayyida Afsha Afrin ma'am leads EMAS with a deep understanding of both the theoretical and practical aspects of teaching. Her vision for EMAS is to transform the educational landscape by empowering teachers to become the best versions of themselves. Now, introduction to EMAS Teachers Club, also known as Innovative Educators Club. It is a free membership based community designed to empower and support educators. It also has many exclusive benefits, which are monthly workshops, free webinars occurring every Thursday, question and answer support, exclusive training sessions every month to enhance your teaching skills, placement assistance, and awards eligibility if you are a prompt participant or a mentor. EMAS Academy also offers courses for teachers like long term diploma courses, which includes in depth training and comprehensive knowledge in various fields of education and psychology. Short term courses are quick and focused training in specific areas. Our certified courses enhance specific skills and knowledge in a short time, suitable for educators, parents, and students. We also offer tailor-made workshops for schools, which mainly focuses on customized content, flexible delivery, and expert facilitators. Life skill education for students, which help them develop crucial skills that go beyond academic knowledge, including communication, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, emotional intelligence, and interpersonal skills. For teachers, our life skill education focuses on empowering teachers to integrate their life skills education into their teaching practices. Thank you. Now it's time to introduce our today's speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our esteemed speaker, Ms. Samina Barodawala, a distinguished educator and author with a wealth of expertise in teaching English and communication skills. With a strong academic background and a passion for writing, Miss Samina Barodawala has worked as a guest lecturer in various colleges and taught in prominent schools, including Birla School and Walsingham School. She is also a skilled workshop facilitator, empowering students and professionals alike with her expertise in personality development and study skills. Let's hear from her. You may proceed, ma'am.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Here I am. She's given me a very good the thing, recognition, a good welcome, and a very good profile she portrayed of me. And at the same time, if I'm a communication skill, you may think I'm going to speak about communications today, which is again a very vast topic. But here we are today to talk about inherently how we introduce a pause, which is so important in every sphere of life, not just in the speaking sphere, but in all the spheres. What I would like to know is if you all can interact with me. I would love an interactive session. And I would want each one of you to give your ideas and views. I'm not here to just be a monologue speaker. And I would love if, you would give your thoughts, your ideas along with mine so that, we thoroughly scan the topic of pause in, as I said, in all areas of life. So we start with breathing, which is our basic necessity. And the way we breathe is so important, we all know, that it takes care of our voice, our all the organs, and giving a deep breathing, which helps us to speak better. And as I said, pause at the right time. Why do you think pause is important? If anyone can answer me, why do you think a pause is important in life, and where does it apply, and in what situations, and how does it build up a complete area of pause? Yes, it is for reflecting and to consider it as, yes, very true. Anyone else? Very nice. Exactly. So, in whatever area we are going, if we talk, whether as a teacher in a school or as a speaker on any platform, what happens is, that we need to give the audience time to understand, to reflect, and we have to keep in mind that they are hearing it for the first time, and it may be very easy for us, but giving them time helps them to organize their thoughts and come with the right this thing, come with the right idea. Lots of people, we have seen on so many Zoom meetings and channels, they talk at a pace which is, very fast. There are few speakers who pause and talk, giving us the impression of structured and a very well aligned talk. It's beneficial for both, isn't it? For the speaker and the participant. Tell me, how would it, well, let's start with the speaker. How would it help the speaker? If the speaker pauses while speaking, how could it help the speaker? And of course, the audience will be helped. As we just said, they understand, they reflect. But what about the speaker? Anyone? Yes, yes. So true. It gives the speaker a chance to, completely understand the topic on which the person is speaking. How do I present it to the audience to make it simpler and easy for them? And before we open our mouth, it is better that it forms in the mind. The brain, which is so powerful, will structure it, realign it, and it helps us to present it. So it's not like we could never say that a speaker has forgotten, but they are giving time to themselves, the brain, to come with the right words, the right vocab, the structure of the sentence, and as I said, to make it easy, palatable, and understandable for one and all. In the same way, the audience also gathers a lot of in depth knowledge because when the speaker pauses, it gives them time to gather up their ideas, their thoughts, their understanding of the subject, and they will dwell into it like how much have we understood? What would we say in this scenario? And that is how the knowledge is extending, expanding, and at the same time helping the speaker and the participants. If we go to see, this is the medium of communication we are talking just now. And as we said, the students or the participants and the audience are there to gather their thoughts, their ideas, and reflect, imbibe, understand, and it stays with them for a longer time. Do you agree? And why? Hello? Anyone? So it's helpful for you also, right? When I'm speaking and pausing. So as we say, silence is golden. Pause is no uh, less than golden because that also gives, as I said, the speaker a lot of time to gather their thoughts and speak at a structured and a very calm and composed way. We do not need to hurry up. Just as we see, when some of the lecturers in colleges or on a monologue on the dais or on the phone when people speak, they do not wait for the opposite person to understand or to wait to gather their wits and knowledge about what we are going to talk, and they just randomly ramble, and redundant it becomes because the opposite person has not is not in sync with them, they're not in line with them, they're not in the same page. So the entire effort of the speaker goes in waste. And here we have seen that Most of us at so many places and so many times, we have seen people, I would not name anyone, but yes, we have seen, like, uh, property agents or any other person who's shy, who's hesitant to sell something. They will speak very fast to in order to hide their nervousness. But once they gather this knowledge of what they're saying, and should they pause, just as when we write we put a comma, in the same way the pause is important when we speak. It gives the time to eradicate the redundant words, and at the same time the one is being focused on the topic and not rambling away just because they have to fill in the time. So the main important point is that even when we breathe, we know that, when we do meditation, they tell us that breathe deeply. What do they say after that? Hold the breath. That is as equivalent to pause. Hold it for 4 seconds or 6 seconds. Yes. Hold your breath. Yes. And then release slowly. Exhale. Yes. We hold our breath. Yes. So it is so we are seeing what I'm trying to show here. And even you can point out, as I've said, that, each instance in life, wherever we are passing from birth till death, there are pauses in every aspect of life. Anything that comes to your mind, you can speak up or write down on the chat, as I'm also saying and presenting. So, one is we spoke about communication skills and why we need to pause. What else the pause has benefits when a person is speaking? The pause is important in the sphere of creating suspense and magic. Because when the person pauses, the audience is waiting for the next word eagerly, excitedly. And once the speaker speaks again, they can join in, they can merge the earlier sentence with the latter sentence. And it's so much of importance because, as I said, if we are going from one sentence to another or one para to another in a very fast sequence, no matter how good our ideas and thoughts are, but it's lost in translation. Why? Because we did not give the audience the chance to react, to respond, to understand it in depth, and to come back with their questions and doubts. So it's a beautiful world. And we will see that even when we just spoke about breath, but when we speak about a child also, when the child is born, the child tries to talk, walk, and sit. Initial stages, even when they're crawling, it's difficult for them. They try and turn, they crawl and they fall, they stand up and their legs shake, and they speak and they just babble. That is the words they're trying to speak like us adults, imitating us, but at times it's only sounds. But we're so happy with those sounds, and we're so happy with them trying to crawl or, understand our human nature, and they respond. And that's how they're also going so slow. No child turns, as I said, no child crawls in one sequence. It takes time. No child stands up in one go. There are slow and short steps. And the day they stand on their own 2 feet, isn't it an excitement for the parents? And they get so excited that, wow, my child has now learned to stand. My child has learned to crawl properly. Not only properly, they crawl so fast that earlier, where they were struggling to crawl, now they've got at a pace because that habit has formed, the mind has developed, and it's giving them the right push and support to do things on their own without adult help. In the same way, how a child and then a person becomes old. In the senior citizens, again, we see that that pace at which they were going at a breakneck speed in their young days, now they're slowing down because the brain is slowing down. And it's so good for them because they learn how to relax. They learn how silence is important, how pause is important, and the earlier stage of childhood comes back in the old age. Isn't it? Can we relate to that? Or should I give more examples? Tell me, let me know. Again, when an old person, hmm, why no, Taranum? Okay, we're not getting an answer. So we go forward. And when they come, okay, thank you. Thank you, dear Shukran. So when the child now grows into a young adult, now he feels he can conquer the world and they go at breakneck speed. We have seen youngsters, you know, walking fast, running fast, and driving fast. Driving to that extent to show their skills that sometimes it's dangerous and few times they do meet with an accident. So again, we see that when they leave the home, parents remind them that please drive slowly. We do not have to reach, we are not in a hurry, we are not in any competition with anyone. And please drive slowly with your mind in balance. But some children, some teens listen, some don't. And that's how the youth, they give up their lives at such an early stage. So we see that pause is, as I said in the beginning, important and essential and very, very, uh, you know, very, very reasonable because it's giving a reasonable life to us where we are, as I said, calm, composed, and cool, no matter at what stage in life we are. And that helps us to achieve more. Like we have seen parents, if we go to that aspect of parenting, parents will say, why don't you eat up fast? Why don't you eat your food fast? You have to go to that class, and after that, you have to go there, and from there, you go there. And the child, poor thing, has no time to relax or even understand what's going on. He gulps his food fast because he has to reach one class after another and at breakneck speed, and the child is left a bundle of tiredness at the end of the day. Why don't we give them a sense of some me time, some time to not do anything? It's not that they are being lazy or we are being lazy for that matter. It could be anyone. But boredom and laziness also has its charm, its utility. And you would ask me why? Because that quiet time, our mind is so relaxed and at ease that gives us or the child to have creative ideas. And that's how the wonderful inventions in the world have taken place. That when Einstein just sat and thought of how a bulb, you know, can illuminate, he failed so many times, but he did not take it as failure. He learned the lesson that I do not have to do these 99 things, which has not given me the result. I have to still try the 100th time to get the idea of how a bulb would be lit. And he succeeded. The same way, the apple, when it fell from he was just sitting under a tree. He had no idea. He was just relaxing and taking the day as it came. And suddenly, when the apple fell, the power of gravity was understood. And what is gravity? The entire text and experience and experiments took place for us, the world, to know that what is the rule of gravity, which Newton has placed in front of us, and so many scientists and all. They worked at a breakneck speed, but they gave their body and their mind time to not do anything, to just sit quietly, to just relax, to take a pause busy, from life's busyness, from life's routine that we run. And this is how we say that pause is important. It is at times, as I said, some people are so good at it on the phone and even in the presentation or in class or just talking to a friend. They're able to give that impact of their words and their speeches to the opposite person. But we just said earlier that the ones who ramble on and try to finish it fast, thinking, oh wow, I know everything, all is known by me, and I just have to rattle it off at a fast breakneck speed. I don't care whether the opposite person understood or not. I'm very smart. But do you think that's the right way? We need to connect and coordinate and merge, yes, with each one we come in touch with, be it on a one to one level or in a group session or in a class or in a family. Even the mothers, when they're dealing with the child, when the child says, I don't want to eat, you cannot gulp, you cannot force the child to eat, you cannot beat him up. And I've seen mothers do that, but it's a sad state of affairs. But there are mothers who are so intuitive and understanding. They leave the child on his own, and the child, when hungry and when not forced, starts to eat with his hands without even the mother prodding them on. The same for studies. You may have seen children rebel when parents say that, why don't you study? You just don't study. You should get 99, 96 marks. percentage, then only you will get in a medical college or an architecture college. But what they don't understand is that the marks are not the be all and the end all. Today, we have seen so many areas of life, like if you can mention anyone, okay, in sports, in arts, in culture, in dance, and so many. Yes, the creativity builds up. And the creativity only builds up, only and only when there is reflection, the power of, yes, the power, to give them the space to be on their own, to be independent, and not pushing them and prodding them and creating unrest in the house by completely repeating the same sentence that why don't you study. I'm sure in our times, today the life has become more competitive, but in our times, there were many parents who never had this urge that the child must get these many marks or the child must succeed in this particular sphere where I'm saying. And they've been so flexible and so reasonable that they allow the child to take the career of their own choice. The children have come from you, and that doesn't mean that you own them. As Khalil Gibran has said, one of the best poets, that do not think that children are your property. They have their own individual minds, their own individual respect, esteem, dignity. Human nature is so varied and so creative that even a child we call dull and dumb can turn out to be a genius. You never know. Each one has skills. You cannot tell a child that because you're not studying, you are a duffer, you are a stupid. I've heard parents say this, and it really pains me when I listen. I cannot tell them that do not use their words, use these words. But if they understand for themselves and the future generation, it's a wonderful world out there. Like just coming to my personal self, when I was young, I remember not a day when my mother or father told me that you are just idling away your time, you're not studying. And I used to study as and when I would feel the need to, the mood to. And that has helped me in being creative. When I hold workshops for creativity, or when I ask people, my audience, in a speech, that who believes they're not creative, and there are many hands going up. But I told them that all of us are creative in one way or the. You cannot say that only a 90% of people are creative and the 10% are not, or the other way, vice versa. So each one, adult or child, has creativity, innovation, and lovely, inspiring ideas, is where we cram it up with the rules and regulations and the force and the push and you know, the obedience that we want from children. Don't they have a right to have their own space and their own freedom? Therein comes the pause again. Because when you're not ruled by rules and regulations, but you are following a pattern of go with the flow, live life to its fullest, you will find a way, you will find your niche, And there's no need for any teacher or any parent, I believe, and I think even you will believe in the course of time, and you may be believing that we are not the custodians of rules and regulations and force and the obedience that we demand from them. It comes naturally if love is there and if understanding is there. So we have seen pause in different forms of our life, in different stages, in different phases, and it has helped us so tremendously. But running at a breakneck speed in the running for the rat race, that I need to be one up about the other. And so I must get 98 marks percentage to get admission in a medical college. But you get it, fine. You don't get it, there are other avenues. But the thing is, you take it at a speed which can match your energy level, your intellectual level, your social and spiritual level. If you're just running and running and running, but not waiting to relax, not waiting to pause, not giving our mind the space to think, to create, to evolve. How would we evolve and grow? Tell me. There are children who look for, a sports career or an artist career or a chef career, and the parents clam them down by saying, "What rubbish! How can you even follow that? That is not what we do in our family. And that job is so demeaning. You're going to be a cook. You're going to be in sports and not take intellectual knowledge." But they know their minds. They know what they want. Who are we to, just because we have given them birth, doesn't give us the full right to control them, to do as we say. We are not some dictators here. We are not some police on patrol. We are not following a life with rules and regulations. It's energy that's flowing. It's the love of nature, the environment, which also teaches us pause. When we come to nature, we all know the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Does it rise in 1 minute? In 1 second, it sort of gives the light and the energy to the world? Or it takes time? We have seen the sunrise, how beautifully and slowly it there is a phase, step by step it goes. And then it comes in the full sphere after spreading its light, its energy in a slow way first. The same way in the sunset. Why do we go and see a sunset? Because uh, so we wait and see that why is it, that the sun sets and we see the lovely colors in the sky, and slowly and beautifully and surely the sun sets with its wonderful hues and colors, and we are admiring that and loving it, capturing it in the camera of our eyes and our hearts. It's something we behold and we remember it as a treasured memory. The same for our children and the same for everyone in our life. Nature has its way of, if we want to germinate a seed, The tree doesn't grow in one day, or a plant doesn't just because we have put soil and water and it gets its sunshine and we have put the seed and we'll see the plant coming up the next day. No, it goes about at its own pace, own time, and one day we see the seeds sprouting and the plant coming and the flower blooming. And we are so happy seeing that plant and that flower. Wow, my efforts have paid. But we don't shout at the plant. Oh, I gave you water and I gave you seed and the sunshine is falling on you and yet you're not growing, which we tell our children. But would you tell a plant? No. So then why would you not have that patience with children, with adults, with everyone? I would love my audience here to give me their feedback on where the pause and how it is needed. Let's work towards it and change and benefit society in so many different ways we can do that. And I'd love the creativity to come from you all. I'm sure the ideas that you have and I have, the thoughts that we all have given by our brains and universe, by God. Yes. So we don't allow our children to grow up the way they want, the way they enjoy their life, but we have put shackles and chains on their hands and legs, and their minds we try to control. We can write a beautiful poem on this. We can write in prose too. Me being a writer, for me, these verses and phrases, I'm sure it will come to you also. And we can put on the group, on this platform where we are all today, the feedback. And the feedback is not just what I said, anything that comes from your side, which I may have, forgotten or not mentioned. I would love to hear it. I would love to be a part of this cause that, we have in mind. Why is a pause important? Why is a pause essential? And how do we reach out to the world with a calm and cool demeanor, with our finding our niche and our children's niche and needs, and not force them to do things against their will. Please consider this and come up with wonderful, beautiful ideas. And we can make this a movement, at least on our platform, and then extend it to the world. As I said, to benefit society. I'm working on a lot of things with teens and, uh, you know, people above the age of 30 to find out, to help them, to support them, to come out from their own shells, from their own shackles, which society has bound them by, or parental influence, or husband's influence. It could be anything. It could be that force is coming from anywhere. Live and let live is our motto today and forever. I think we end here with this beautiful notion and think about it, reflect about it, and let us know what you think. And if you can write a para or a page or a poem, it would be wonderful. Don't let these thoughts disperse like seeds in the wind. Let us sow the silence is golden pause and the beauty. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. So, participants are requested to share their questions or their thoughts. We will give 2 minutes for it, ma'am. And after that, we will proceed with vote of thanks and then end the session. चलिए. Okay, so now is the time for vote of thanks. Thank you to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Samina Barodawala, for sharing her valuable insights and expertise with us today. We appreciate the time and effort you took to prepare and deliver such an informative and engaging session. Your contributions are truly valued and we are grateful for your presence. Thank you to also the all participants who made this webinar possible. Thanks once again, ma'am. And all of the participants are okay. So all of the participants are requested to kindly subscribe our YouTube channel, and in order to get your participant certificate, you are supposed to comment under the comment section of our YouTube videos, so that at the end of the session, sorry, at the end of the monthly webinars, you will be eligible for the participant certificate.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh,
Thank you,
you have a
ma'am.
question? Yes, Taranum,
Okay,
tell me.
ma'am. Actually, one question is there.
Yes, please tell me.
Okay, so she is asking how to deal with a child who has only interest in animals.
Yes, come again.
Her question is how to deal with a child who has only interest in animals. Maybe she is trying to say that the child is more interested in a zoological life as compared to his academics. He doesn't like to study, yeah.
I will come on this. I'm having an emergency. I will come on this.
Sure, ma'am. Okay, you can share your answer with me. I'll share it with her later on WhatsApp. Okay. Thank you.